Hello and welcome to Sammy C. Press. Today we're going to be diving into something more than Shakespeare poetry workbook. We're going to be discussing Emily Dickenson. So here are some quick facts. She was born in 1830 and died in 1886. Emily hated cleaning the house. She was born in Amherst, Massachusetts, and her father would only eat the bread that she herself made. Emily loved school, but she was very shy, and she never grew out of her shyness. She began to write poetry in her teens. She had a friend named Benjamin Newton. He was a law student studying with her father. Ben was one of the few people who showed interest in Emily's poetry. Sadly, Ben died. This shocked Emily, and it was some time later that she started to write about death. Emily was what would be termed as a bookworm, her nose almost always in a book. She would see the world as if it were through the many books she read. She also had a very vivid imagination. When not reading, she baked bread, played the piano, tended the garden, and wrote poetry. That is not an exhaustive list. I'm sure she had to sleep too. By the age of 40, Emily had never outgrown her shyness. She rarely left the house. She would visit her brother Austin, who lived next door, with his wife Sue. When people came to visit, she would stay in her room, but she would keep the door open so she can hear the conversations. Another thing Emily did around this time was she would only wear white. There were indications that Emily suffered from major depression, as well as social anxiety and bipolar, maybe even seasonal affective disorder. Emily's brother Vinny protected her from the nosy neighbors. Her own family did not understand her ways, but they were very respectful of her wishes. She would wave to the kids who were playing to come over, and she would lower baskets of sweets down from her window so they can enjoy. That was so super sweet. Emily died at the age of 55. When she had passed, her brother Vinny found little books that were hand-sewn in her bureau. 879 poems were in these little books. Many more were found later. Did you know that Emily had written more than 1,700 poems? In this poem, Hope is a Thing with Feathers, do you know that Emily used a total of 15 dashes? This breaks the rules of syntax, which refers to word order, and the way in which it works with grammatical structures. As we are used to hearing things in a certain order, the effect of breaking up normal syntax is to draw attention to what is being said and the way it is said. Why so many dashes, you ask? Those dashes, as well as her deviations from the rhyme scheme and meter, are the way for her to get the reader to stop and reflect. Some poets, like Emily in this case, deliberately fracture syntax beyond what is considered grammatically correct. This demands the reader's attention. We, the reader, get the reward if we reflect, because when we do, we will see what the writer is trying to express. It'll be revealed in a beautiful way. In our workbook, we include Hope is a Thing with Feathers, as well as the scansion involved to break it down. Another poem we have in the workbook is A Bird Came Down the Walk. It is written in iambic trimeter. That means da-dum, with 3 different feet. Also, she uses alliteration. That is the repetition of the same sound at the start of a series of words. We have some examples here, like drinking dew, or see or saw raw, and grass pass. Here's a side point. Did you know that Emily loved gardening? She was known for her gardening, not her poetry when she was alive. At her funeral on May 19, 1886, many did not even know that she wrote poetry. Maybe that's true for you. Maybe you enjoy writing, but others don't even know. I hope you've enjoyed this brief discussion of Emily Dickenson. Feel free to explore and learn more about her and her poetry. It truly is beautiful. Enjoy as you dig to learn more about this fascinating poet, Emily Dickenson. Until next time.